Hi everyone, today I'm in Liverpool and I'm going to take you to see one of the biggest derby in football, Liverpool FC and Everton FC. But before we go into the stadium, I'm going to take a look around the city. Liverpool was founded in 1202. The origin name is from Old English liver, meaning thick or muddy water, and pool, meaning pool or a creek. The city also has a symbol, a liver bird. A liver bird is a mythical creature. Two most famous liver birds are Bertie and Bella looking at the city, and Bella looking at the sea. Liverpool is located in northwest of England, with its population nearly 500,000 people. The city is very vibrant. To me, walking around the city is very entertaining because it has the blend between the 19th century and modern architectures. The city has second highest number of art galleries, national museum, listed buildings and listed parks in the UK after the capital of London. To find out more about this city, I decided to visit one of the museums in the city. Here at the museum, it's clearly described how Liverpool was one of the biggest sports cities in the world. In the 19th century, a large volume of trade was passing through Liverpool every single day. No surprise, as a port city, Liverpool was one of the richest cities. With its wealth, in 1830, Liverpool and Manchester became the first city to have intercity rail link. Since Liverpool's success in world trade, the docks in Liverpool became the center of the city development. In 1715, Liverpool Dock was world's first enclosed wet dock, with first ever hydraulic dock system. Nowadays, Liverpool is closely associated with music. The popularity of the Beatles led to it becoming the most visited city in the United Kingdom, with more than 50 million tourists visiting the city annually. And the Beatles statue at the pierhead is one of the most favorite places for the tourists to take photos. ANFIELD and GOODISON Park is located about 2 miles from the city center. And to get there are some choices. First, you can take the train. The train has reputation as one of the fastest and safest way to travel. Here in Liverpool city center, there are 4 train stations available with overground and underground network. The next choice you can take is by bus. To get there, bus usually takes about 20 minutes. Liverpool also has a unique transportation service, an electric scooter to hire. To ride this, you must at least 18 years old. So those are some transportation that you can take to get to the stadium, but today I choose to walk. Why walking? Because there are lots of things to see along the journey, and we're going to stop at Everton district, where Everton FC was born. So after about 20-minute walk from the city center, I finally arrived in Everton district. Everton Park should be located around here. So let's keep going. So because of its location of this park on top of the hill, make it the best view here in Liverpool, as you can see behind me. Consider it's surrounded by houses, roads, university. This park is actually very quiet. When Liverpool economy was booming back in 19th century, Everton district was the most desirable suburb to live for the rich merchants. However, later chemical works and riverside industries arrived. The large mansions were knocked down and replaced with hundreds of terrace housing for working class community. Talk about Everton FC. Maybe any of you know the crest of Everton FC, the logo on their jersey. It's called the Everton Tower, and the actual building stands around here. In 1938, Theo Kelly, the Everton secretary who later became the club manager, was asked to design a crest. Kelly worked for months until deciding on reproduction of Everton Tower as the crest of Everton FC until now, which stands in the heart of Everton Park. Everton Tower was actually a village lockup. A village lockup is a historic building that was once used by law enforcement for the temporary detention of people in England and Wales. Lockups were often used for the confinement of drunks or criminals. This Everton Tower has been linked with Everton FC since its construction back in 1787 and still stands until today. This tower also has nickname Prince Rupert Tower, which actually Prince Rupert is. Prince Rupert was a German English army officer, admiral, scientist, and colonial governor during the English Civil War between parliamentarians and royalists back in 16th century. Everton Park was historically where Prince Rupert and his army made their preparation before going to attack the parliamentarians' army. From this hill, Prince Rupert with his 10,000 of men looked down ready to attack, and the fight known as the Siege of Liverpool. Since then, Prince Rupert's name forever written in Everton history. That was a little bit story about Everton Tower. Now I'm going to take you back to our journey to Anfield and GOODISON Park. In Liverpool, there are a number of churches and chapels. Most of them are very old and rich of history. There was one most important church in Everton named Saint Domingo Church. Saint Domingo Church is where Everton FC was born. The club formed by the committee of this church on the meeting at the hotel named Queen's Head Hotel. Before named Everton FC, they called Saint Domingo FC. Unfortunately, the church along with the hotel were long gone. Everton district has been developed for many times for hundreds of years. Some important buildings were demolished. So we're about to leave Everton district. This is the border between Everton district and Anfield. So the stadium should be located around here. The stadium is actually located next to busy residential area, and As you can see, the atmosphere of the Reds is clearly established on the murals in every corner of Anfield area.
I'm quite lucky to be here today, I can say, because today is the match between Liverpool versus Everton. This match is very important for both teams because Liverpool is about to go to the top of the league and Everton trying to escape from relegation.
The derby between Liverpool and Everton, called the Merseyside Derby. Some name it the Friendly Derby. It's because how these two clubs share their history, the city, and the community.
This derby is quite complicated because Anfield used to be blue, not red. Yes, this stadium used to be home for Everton FC before Liverpool FC was born.
To find the answer how Anfield used to be home of Everton FC, we need to go to Stanley Park, because at this park where the story began.
Before Everton FC played at Anfield, Everton FC first match was here in the open field like this at Stanley Park.
Stanley Park is actually located between Anfield and Goodison Park. As you can see, these two stadiums only divided by this park. Since professional clubs require proper enclosed facilities, Saint Domingo FC or Everton FC forced to leave Stanley Park. When Everton FC, who were left without home ground, there was a man named Mr. J. Crude, donated his land to Everton FC. This land became the club's home for 2 years. Through the years, Everton gained popularity and fans across Liverpool and outside Liverpool. Thousands of fans attended the match. The crowds became far too large and noisy. Since the land was located next to Mr. J. Crude's home, the crowd was large and noisy. Mr. J. Crude, as the landowner, asked the club to leave his land. This made again Everton left in uncertain situation with no home ground. Until one day, this situation was seen by a man named John Holding. Outside Anfield, John Holding's statue stands. John Holding is the founding father of Liverpool FC. Before John Holding, known as the founding father of Liverpool FC, John was a businessman who owned a brewery company, and he was also a politician. John, as a businessman and politician who loves football, was seeing this big opportunity to be part of Everton FC. After that, John Holding successfully secured a piece of land next to Stanley Park that owned by his business relative named Joseph Orrell Jr. John Holding also appointed as the president of Everton FC. Since then, Anfield became home for Everton FC. John Holding, as a president of Everton FC, also managed to buy some part of the land from the original owner, Joseph Orrell Jr. After a few years, the rent agreement between John and Everton FC committee became more complicated. This led Everton FC committee and President John Holding became embroiled in a deep and bitter conflict, which led Everton FC committee to end the agreement and move from Anfield to Goodison Park. This situation made Anfield become a stadium without a club. The conflict didn't end until John Holding decided to build his own football club and registered the club as Everton FC an athletic ground Ltd, but denied by the Football Association. Instead, he named the club Liverpool FC. This famous split and conflict known as the birth of Liverpool FC. Anfield and Goodison Park sit next to each other here in Liverpool. These two stadiums only walking distance, and Stanley Park in the middle as their storyteller. Since the split, these two clubs became the backbones of Merseyside football. A lot of respect for both. All the struggles and difficult times they have been through together over 100 years. Despite all the complications, after all, football is very simple to uniting people.